Alright, this little video is going to be kind of wanted to explain all the areas of the blog as far as how to get the most out of using the blog and that type of thing, going over some of the links for the blog. Obviously, this area is going to have the newest post for every day. This top area I call open blog trades and standing orders. That area is going to show, like in black right here, it's going to show any trade that is active, we're in, but hasn't been exited yet. And then that's also the area where, as in the case in this white text here, if I've suggested placing a stop order or a limit order or something like that to either exit or enter the trade, that's going to be there as well. So that just gives a fast, kind of easy glance way to come to the blog, look and see if there's any changes without having to read through the posts if you're limited for time. Then there's closed blog trades for the year, which I'll probably have to kind of get rid of some of those as that list gets bigger. Below that is a set of blogs that I say are useful trading blogs. The first 1, 2, 3, 4 are do actually have some pretty useful trading stuff on them. These last two I wouldn't say are very useful trading blogs, but this blog right here I think is just a very, very good blog in general, especially anything related to volatility and the VIX. This blog I only read a few times a week, but there's a lot of times some interesting charts and some unique things in there. The rest of this stuff I read every day. Now, probably the most important thing here is that anyone who wants to follow the blog regularly, especially if you want to actually do the trades that I recommend on the blog, it's good to have a way to get the posts as soon as they come out. I suppose you could always just frequently check the blog or refresh your page or something like that, but you can use what's called a reader, and that reader will check for any time there's a post. It will send that to a reader in your browser, and you can get the post that way. I'll just really quick kind of explain here. What you do is you'd click on that. If you use Gmail, you'd probably want to click Google. If you use Yahoo, you'd want to click on My Yahoo, and so on here. You'd select that, and it would send, it would create a feed to your My Yahoo page or to your My Google account. And then every post would actually go in and look somewhat like this in your on that page. So anytime you have, say, your email open or something at Yahoo, you'd be able to see the blog post there in the reader section. So that's probably the way I would suggest to get the blog posts. You can put your email address in here and get them by email. When I put my email in there, I didn't actually get the posts until the next day. So there may be a way you can check or kind of change your settings for how often your browser checks for updates or something like that, but I don't really know about that. So I would suggest using this reader if possible. Under there, there's a section I've called Best Posts, and that's really just past posts from the blog. It has anybody who's going to actually do trades from the blog would want to read these things on money management. Some people might be newer to trading, some people might be experienced, but this gives some ideas as far as how to devote capital to those trades and maybe the average risk per trade. These other things are posts that had some detailed educational stuff on certain types of patterns or some just kind of research, so to speak, that I've done myself I've not seen anywhere else. So like this study right here shows some charts of some put call data that's looked at in a different way than you might see on any other site. So I've linked those things just kind of for info or for perspective, I guess. Obviously the blog archive that all blogs have. And then down here, I spend a little bit of time on this. my favorite site section. This site right here, sentimenttrader.com, this is, in my opinion, probably the best thing since sliced bread. It has this is the site that I actually use the models when I reference the short-term model in the blog post. They're coming from this site, and they aren't really a mechanical thing. I don't use them as a mechanical system, but I integrate those signals with patterns and some basic traditional technical analysis to recommend blog trades. So, and that's a subscription site. It's not very expensive as of now. It's only about $25 a month, and that would be something that I would highly recommend to anyone who's really serious about trading if you're not familiar with that site, because there's just you learn so much, day to day from following that. This is a link to Stock Charts, which is a really good free charting service. Here, this is also part of Stock Charts, but this is something that if you're interested in trading individual stocks or options on stocks, this is actually a free candlestick pattern screener via Stock Charts. And so you go down to this section here, and it'll show you how many of these individual patterns, bullish engulfing, bearish engulfing, hammer patterns, and that type of thing. So you can actually click on the number here, and it'll bring up all the tickers, and you can look at the charts and that type of thing. So that's really good. There are a few free services like that. In fact, this one down here that I call candlestick screener, excuse me. This is dogispace.com, and they have a similar thing to Stock Charts, although I think I like Stock Charts a little bit better. Anyhow, that saves you from having to use a paid software type of thing to search for candlestick patterns like IntelliChart or something like that. So those are good for that. This is a more general screener. I don't think it has a candlestick screener, but there's a whole bunch of different fields that you can filter here, and I'll probably get more into this at some point in the future when it might be more useful. And there's also there's this descriptive tab, fundamental tab, and technical tab. The technical tab actually has some, I guess it does have a candlestick screener, and it has some chart pattern, I think a chart pattern type of screen somewhere in here as well. Oh yeah, right down here. So that's a pretty neat one to use. Barchart.com is a good site to get information on futures, on currencies. Free site with a whole bunch of information on prices and things. So that's a good. You can do some charting things in there, but that's a really good chart to check a broad range of markets. And SchaefersResearch.com, they also have some good stock screeners in there. And again, I'll get into this probably at some point when it becomes useful, but there's a whole lot of things on that site that you probably won't see anywhere else that are relatively good. Investors Business Daily, good publication for growth stock investing, something I've followed for a long time, even though that's not really the focus of this blog. And then this correlation finder down here, this is exactly what it says, a correlation finder. You can use it if for some reason you want to find either a fund or stock that correlates with another one, or maybe inversely to it. You would put one of the symbols up here and one of them down here. You can choose the time frame that it'll calculate for the correlation, and it'll give you some symbols. So don't use that often, but it might come in handy for someone, so I thought I'd link that there. That's really all I was going to go through here. That's the basics of the blog. So let me know if there's any questions on that stuff, and I will eventually make some posts actually using some of those at some point.